I had a choice or not. That's just how it is. So I really appreciate hearing your awareness and your connection, because it's totally right on. That's exactly how people should be thinking, that their bodies are a vessel for, the Christ Sophia, the divine union, Sophia Gaia, to work through. And that our hands should be the hands of Mother Earth, of the Father, and that this is what our vessels represent, that we're doing the work here on Earth as co-creators.
So Ramon and I were talking before we started the interview tonight, and I told him that all the interviews I'd listened to you do so far, that when you're out talking, you are absolutely plugged in. That's what I call it. Being plugged in. No.
Sometimes I have a hard time articulating, and I hear some of my interviews, and I'm getting more and more comfortable with getting used to speaking about it. But at first, just because I was kind of just like all shaky because I'd blown the whistle, and these are really dark, dangerous forces, and they really screwed with my life a lot. But I'm glad that you got a good feeling from it, because sometimes, just being grounded and just, articulating to the point where people can understand can be a bit of a challenge. But it's flowing a lot more easily, especially when, the guests such as yourself are so receptive and already, plugged in, that it's not like I'm dealing with somebody who just is throwing a lot of energy at me like, okay, what are you trying to say here? Which I don't get too often, but sometimes the audience, even when they call in, they are just brutal. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I think if you have a hard time articulating, welcome to Conscious TV, then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you heard us stumbling around. But I saw yesterday something you were promoting about 11-11-11. Is there a conference you have going on, 11-11-11?
What about it? Oh, do I have something happening? Well, the Pythagoras conference was on 11-11, and they lost the venue for that. So I'll be doing something with my colleagues, Alfred Weber and Andrew Bashago. We'll probably be doing our own show.
Okay.
And we might be going to Mexico. I'm not too sure. Everything's kind of up in the air. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually an exciting date. I don't know if you're familiar with. There I go, blanking out. What's her name, Tom?
Who?
The lady who's doing the big...
Crystal Clark?
No. The big meditation on 11-11-11.
Oh, Shelley?
Yes,
Shelley Yates. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Fire the Grid.
Doing this thing. Yeah, Fire the Grid. I think the last time she's done 2 so far, and they both had I think it was like 1 million people or something like that, all joining in meditation.
Oh, excellent. It's so important.
Yeah. I really feel for myself that's a really important date.
And I don't think you can, it's like these chemtrails. When did they study, how to keep source energy coming into the planet? It's like we're awakening, so we're drawing it in. This is about as above, so below, as below, so above. So, it's just like so embarrassing. They look so stupid, just like stop, the creator. It's like they're competing with God. It's ridiculous.
Well, some of them are real arrogant and megalomaniacs, so they probably see themselves as the reincarnation of God.
Right. And then they think this other thing, this strange galactic core, is just like, who's that distraction? We're the real gods, and that's how ignorant they are. That's what the demiurge is all about. They refuse to acknowledge, what's above it and what they should be surrendering to, and what should be working through them, because they're vessels too. And but Sophia, put her spark in everybody, and it's like all I can do is forgive these folks. As painful as it all is, it's just I think that there's been a lot of the ancients, and I think it was well understood that these kind of things would take place in our future. And I think that Venus transits are really what my role is merged with, is the Venus transits, which are leading to the shift on 2012, and the unity consciousness that's going to take place, because the Earth, Sun, and Venus are all going to be aligned. And this is all in the cosmos. They can't, I don't think heavy metals can stop all this. It's just like, they can only try, and and there's plenty of products out there to keep our systems clear. So it's better to, like I said, stock up now before they take them off the shelf. And check out my blogs because there's a lot of really helpful remedies and different things that one can use. I would recommend too clay and charcoal because it soaks up toxins and eliminates them. So.
Yeah, that's actually.
I mean,
really,
not Paul, clay and charcoal. Did I say? Okay.
Yeah, that's really popular here, where they'll put it in the water before they drink it. The charcoal. And not just any old charcoal. It's been cleaned, so you don't get the black stuff off the charcoal.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got an ozone generator, and that for energizing my water, and I found that actually putting that electrical energy into my water, I can feel it after I drink it. I can feel it actually as it's absorbing in and starting to flow through my body. It's actually an amazing feeling, and the research behind it, there's all sorts of claims that, well, they can't really make claims, but all sorts of innuendos towards the benefits of it. I don't know if you've ever looked into those or not.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in the water business kind of, but I'm leaving my job just because I have all these other projects I need to do. But yeah, I work with water experts, and they have formulated incredible mineral water. So people check out anuwater.com, and it's very good water. It's biocharged, and it's very protective for during these shift times. But yeah, no, I've heard of all that too, and I know that they deal in that as well. I don't know all the details, but it's very important, so that's great.
So you've seen all of Matsumoto's experiments on the flash freezing of the water crystals and stuff?
Yes, I've seen some of that for sure, yep.
Yeah, that's some pretty amazing stuff. That right there shows me the effects of consciousness on reality.
Yep.
Yeah. Me and Tom have had an experience where over at James' place, where they had a chemtrail all night. His place just gets hit heavy with chemtrails, where we actually, where our intention, we moved the clouds. So what I want to say, if you're having chemtrails over your house, really put the focus, clear your mind, and your intention will move those clouds.
Yeah.
Have you had any experience yourself with just like with your own intention?
Yes, I have a great story actually. I was at a party one time. I used to have my abilities have kind of taken I wouldn't say a little bit of a nosedive, but it's very hard for me to just be like, okay, make this happen. But I was at a party one time, and I went to this psychic institute, this clairvoyant institute. I kind of stumbled upon it. It was an accident. I was going to do something else with my time, and I signed up for the program, and it was 2 years long, and everybody could really see what I was all about because they're all psychic. So they knew my past lives. They knew, my connection to Sophia and all this stuff. And so I was at a party anyway, and, we were just all hanging out, and I love beer. So I was drinking a beer, and and I don't drink that much, but I back then I definitely enjoyed beer. So I'm drinking a beer, and I'm thinking, well, I probably shouldn't have any more beer. I should probably be drinking water instead. But I said, whatever. And I picked up a beer out of the six-pack, and I just said, I picked up the water out of the six-pack, and I held it, and I said, I shouldn't be drinking this beer. I should be drinking water instead. And I just, whatever, and I opened it up. And I took a sip, and it was water. And everybody standing around me was just like, I told them, I said, wait a second, this beer tastes like water. And I'm like, taste it. And they took a taste, and they're like, it is water. And we poured it into a cup, and lo and behold, the beer had turned into water. And they said, Laura, you just created a miracle. I was like, no, it's just a coincidence. I wanted water, and the beer company probably accidentally bottled water, and it's just a coincidence. They're like, yeah, right. How in the hell, out of the blue, did this one beer, that out of like thousands and thousands of beers, it just happens to have water in it, right when you say, I shouldn't be having this beer, I should have water instead. I remember the energy around me that day. I was just so clear, and I just felt, so just, I don't know, just like really in a high place. And And they're like, sure enough, and they always kind of, they reminded me of it since, and I almost forgot about it because I was kind of buzzed at the time, so I was thinking, did that really happen? And they're like, yeah, you turned beer into water. And then one time I had to take a flight. My mom dropped me off at the wrong day, and I had to change my ticket. And on the way to the airport that she was driving me, she didn't realize that my flight was the next day, and I didn't either. She'd given me the tickets, and we were just in the car, and we were going. And we're driving along, we go to the stop sign, I go, Mom, stop. And so she stopped, and I jump out of the car, and I just go into the grass. Just randomly, I go in the grass, and I pull out $50 out of the grass. And she's just like, you got to be kidding me. She goes, you just jump out of the car, and you pull $50 out of the grass? So anyway, I was just like, that's so weird. I just saw like this little piece of paper sticking out, and I just could have sworn it was, I had the feeling it was money. And so anyway, I get to the airport, and they see my ticket, and they're like, you're not supposed to be flying today. And my mom had already taken off, and she was gone. And I wasn't able to stay at the house that night. And I said, oh, great. They said, well, if you switch the ticket, it costs $50. And I had no money on me. That was the coolest thing I've ever done besides the beer. So, yeah, I mean, this is what we're dealing with. So it's like sometimes on my Facebook, on my status, I'll say, if all else fails, just know you can create a miracle. And I've done it a few times. I healed this woman who lived on the street. She was an alcoholic. She had like pulled out all her hair. She had been living on the streets for a while, and I saved her liver and basically healed her from. She had a daughter. She had that was a friend of mine, and she just had lost her business and just went nuts and just hit the streets. And her daughter just never thought that she would be okay. And so I'm not going to list a bunch of stories, but there have been some really extraordinary things in my life where I just really saw the power of the human spirit and how much we're capable of accessing incredible powers, that we can touch these poisons, that we could actually look at the sky and somehow do the alchemy. Because what is it, turning lead into gold? Well, we're dealing with uranium, we're dealing with barium, let's turn all that into gold and like let it all rain gold and freak out everybody. It's like whatever it takes, we got to get into those powers. And I don't remember what the formula was or what I was doing in my life at the time that made me so activated and able to do these things. But I swear I wish I had those abilities right now, because I haven't been able to do anything like that for a while. But I know that I can, and I will again.
Yeah, I've had like this one time when I was living in New York. I was on the way to work, and I was working for a catering job, and of course I was wearing the monkey suit, and it was raining. It was raining really hard, and I just started clearing my mind and pushing energy up through my crown chakra, and I just kept thinking, slow down, and the rain started to slow down little by little. I said, this can't be a coincidence. And as soon as I said that, it just started pouring again. I said, oh crap. So yeah, we definitely have an amazing power. We just need to tap in. And everybody out there listening to this show, or people that we all have stories like this. But as soon as these things happen, the first thing we do is, no, I must be crazy. No, this is not happening.
Or it's just a coincidence.
Exactly. We look for other ways to explain it.
Right. But sometimes it's funny because deep down I know I created a miracle, but I don't want to be all like, hey, a part of me is just, I think I sort of doubt it publicly, just, because I'm humble and I'm not just going to be like, yeah, I'm powerful. But, but I think deep down we really know that it's magic and that it's miracles and it's our divine energy at work. And so I didn't really doubt it at the time. I had a hard time admitting, though, that I really thought I was capable of it. For some reason, I just felt like, I don't know. But yeah, and this is the thing, it's available to us, and we just have to really believe in it, because the whole thing that they have power over is dumbing us down, is also, having the archonic telepathic forces undermine us. A lot of these people that are contacted or abducted, get a lot of negative energies from them, and they say, you're stupid. There's a lot of negative programming that will make you turn against yourself and become your own worst enemy. And that's what they want, because self-love and self-empowerment and confidence, starts to illuminate all these other abilities in our higher chakras. And if we think terrible of ourselves and we're really down on ourselves, it's really hard. But yeah, I just feel most of the readers that saw me said that I was, in chakras that were even above my seventh chakra. Most of my consciousness was in chakras that you can only go after you die, or just parts of, because basically all the psychotraumatic weaponry that they put on me, and the amount of times that I almost died, there was a time that I did die, but I was able to hold on to my physical body and go through sort of what a person would go through when they die without losing my physical body. And then